Hey everyone, it's Joanna here. This is a requested video from quite a number of you asking me how is it possible to live healthy on a really tight budget. Well, let me tell you first of all that it is very possible, and I am just like most of you, I am living on a budget myself. You might need to do a little bit more planning, a little bit more research, but with all this work put into it, it will be worth it and you will be able to live healthy and also to lose weight if that is your goal. So I'm going to share with you my top 20 tips on how to eat healthy on a tight budget. The first tip, as you can see from my groceries here, is to forget about brand. Buy generic brand or store brands. Raw food like rice, pasta, frozen vegetables taste the same just like your branded brands out there. But what you're saving is a lot of money because you're saving on the nice fancy packaging from the branded brands that you get. A marketer once told me the supermarket places their most profitable products within your eye level. So if the product is targeted at you, it will be around the middle shelves. If it's targeted towards kids, it will be at the lower shelves. Value products with less fancy packaging are always placed right at the bottom of the shelves. So when you're in the supermarket, look right down. You'll still find what you want, equally good quality, but it costs way less with less fancy packaging. The second tip is to buy reduced item or items which are on sales. So if you are really on a tight budget, most supermarkets will reduce items which are almost expiring, sometimes even up to 90%. So go to the supermarket later at night when they're almost shutting and you will find lots of reduced items and also items on sales. Another example is I got these organic canned tomatoes for 50% discount. Usually they would cost a lot more, but because this item is currently on sales, I would buy them and stock them up. So be wise, be smart, do some research, do your shopping and see what items are on sales which are healthy, and you can have them as part of your daily meals. This then leads on to my third point, which is to buy in bulks. So if you know there's a certain product that you like and it's on sales, whether it's half price or whether it's buy one free one, why not buy them in bulks and store them up, because you know that you will eat them. So I've bought these tomatoes, which was 50%. I got 2 jars of raspberry jam, which was buy one free one. Same thing, buy in bulks, stock them up, and also buy in larger quantities because they always cost less. So oats, something that is really cheap, is so cheap, and we eat them a lot. So buy them in large quantity, it will last you for a long time and it will save you lots of money as well. And the fourth tip is something I apply a lot, which is to buy frozen vegetables. I know it's not applicable in Asia because you don't have frozen vegetables, but if you're in the Western country, buy frozen vegetables. They are so much more cheaper and they last you for months. If I were to buy fresh vegetables, the trouble is that I will not be able to finish it on time and it will go off and therefore I will throw it away or waste my food. Therefore, I prefer buying frozen vegetables because it's much cheaper, it lasts you a long time, and you are still getting all the nutrients in it. You're not losing any nutrients. The vegetables are picked and then frozen at its peak ripeness. So frozen vegetables still holds and contains all of its nutrients. And you will see that I always use frozen vegetables in my recipes. Which lead on to my fifth tip is to pack on vegetables. In comparison to meat, vegetables are so much more cheaper. And they are large in quantity. So why not pack your meals with lots of vegetables? First thing, they will save you money. Second thing, they will trim down your waistline, and that is what we want. So choose to load your meals with lots of vegetables because they will keep you satisfied and they will help you to lose weight at the same time. And the next tip is to buy cheap protein. We need protein, of course we need protein, but do we always need expensive protein? Not in my case, because my favorite proteins are eggs. They're absolutely cheap, packed with protein. Chicken fillet, much cheaper compared to red meats. Same thing, packed with protein, and that's what you need in order to lose weight, eat healthy. And also fish. I know these are salmons, they are more expensive, but you don't have to buy salmons. Buy any other fish which costs less in your country. Depending on where you live, there will always be proteins that cost less. So buy cheap protein, pack your meals with these proteins. They are really good for your body, and treat yourself occasionally to red meats or proteins that cost more money. Tip number 7 is the most important tip to help you to lose weight, which is to buy whole food and not processed food. Think about it, most time processed food are not cheap. Whole food are always much cheaper. For example, this chicken breast would cost me £4. In comparison, if I were to buy chicken nuggets, I would get very little quantity filled with salt and processed ingredients, and that would cost me maybe £2.50, and that would not even satisfy me. So choose to buy whole food where you're in control of the ingredients and you can prep the meal based on how you like it. Processed food are not cheap and they're not good for your health, so why waste your money on processed food if you know you can get cheaper and better quality food when you buy whole food? The next tip is something not many people will agree with me, but when you're living on a budget, forget about organic. Just go basic. Of course, it would be great if we all can afford organic food because they taste much better and they are much healthier for you. But hey, when you're living on a budget, you know what? You gotta go basic. For instance, frozen and basic. What I got here is a pack of frozen and basic berry mix. You know what? It makes me great smoothie. It's much cheaper than organic berries, and I am still getting the nutrients and the health benefits from it. So really go basic. These tomatoes are basic, they're not organic. So what you have to make sure is that you wash them thoroughly and soak them for at least 30 minutes before using them. And eggs, I buy caged eggs. Sorry chickens, I don't buy free-range eggs because caged eggs cost so much more less, and my focus here is to get protein out of it. So unfortunately at this moment I can't buy free-range eggs. So when you're on a budget, just think basic food. What do you want? The protein out of it, that's what you need. Or the vegetables consumption, that's what you need. Eventually, if you can afford it, of course, by all means go organic. But for now, keep it to basic. The next tip is something I practice a lot as well, which is to buy seasonal fruits and vegetables. When you go into the supermarket, go with an open mind. Know what you want. You need vegetables and you need fruits. But do you need a specific vegetables and fruits? The answer is no. Go to the vegetables and fruits sections, see what's in season, and buy the cheapest vegetables and fruits you can get. And change your meal plans, change your food intake according to what's in season and what costs less. This leads on to my next tip, which is to shop in your local markets. Sometimes supermarkets are not always the cheapest, so go to your local markets and look at the vegetables and fruit range they have there. Most times, they will be much cheaper and much fresher in comparison to your big supermarkets. And sometimes they have reduced items which they sell in bulks. For example, bananas. I love bananas, and whenever it's on reduce because it's going off soon, I will buy them in bulks. What I'll do is to slice them up and freeze them up and use them later on. That's another way to shop smart and cheap as well. Tip number 11 is to eat like the local. You will find that in different countries there are different types of food that cost way less. For example, in Asia, tofu is extremely cheap and it's very easily accessible. So if you're in Asia, you know you can always have more tofu if you want to because it's so cheap. Whereas milk and cheese are very cheap in the West, not in Asia. You don't have to stick to my meal plan or to a particular meal plan and try to buy ingredients that is expensive or is not easily accessible in your country. So adjust the plan and use ingredients that are cheap and easily accessible in your own country. So you want to lose weight and you want to save money. My advice to you is to write a grocery list and to stick by it. Only buy things that you need, not you want. So make a list before you go shopping. When you're in the supermarket, go straight to the sections and get what you need and go straight out. You don't have to start looking around, start doing your window shopping and start being tempted by what junks they have on sales. That will save you money and that will save your waistline. The next tip is very useful if you're a student or you live alone and you want to save money, which is to cook in bulks. I've always said this in my meal plan because it will save you money, it will save you time, it's much more convenient, and you are more likely to stick to your meal plan. Cook in bulks, store them in the fridge or freezer, and take it out and warm it up when it's dinner time. This is especially important if you have just got back from school or work and you feel extremely tired and lazy to cook. Guess what? You've got a healthy meal in your freezer or fridge for dinner. Moving on from that is to learn to store your food. Sometimes we buy in bulks because it's cheap and we can't finish it and it's going off. And so we need to learn how to store our food. For example, what I have here is my mashed up avocado. I could not finish my avocado, and so I decided to mash it up, add a little bit of lemon and store it in the freezer. So when I feel like spreading it on my toast, I can just take it out, let it thaw and spread it on my toast. Like I say, most food can be stored in the freezer. Just do your research online and see what you can do and how you can store it. Even milks, you can even store milks in the freezer. So just do a little bit of extra homework and see how you can store your food instead of throwing it away. When it comes to preparing meal, saving money and eating healthy, this is my tip, which is to keep it simple. Simple meals are healthy meals. Don't make complicated meals. It takes way too long, it costs too much, it's too complicated, and why the hassle? So just pick simple meals which is good for your body, good for your tummy, which costs less, and just keep your meals simple and delicious. So that's something I practice a lot. Keep your meals simple with minimal ingredients. Pick several ingredients that you like. These are all my favorite ingredients and consume them most of the week. Keep your meals simple, that way you will live much healthier as well. Of course, by all means, if you feel like experimenting with new dishes, you can always do that when you have the time, over the weekends, or even when you have some extra cash. My next tip is to cut your junks out completely. Think about it, which is cheaper? Soda drinks or free water? Biscuits, which always cost about £1.50 to £2, or would you rather buy nuts? Same price, but which is healthier? I would go for nuts. The truth is, those extra money that you spend on buying junks every month can either be saved or you can swap them for healthier, much healthier alternatives. So just completely cut out your junks. It will help you to save money and it will help you to look your best. The next tip is something everyone should take advantage of. Discount cards, coupons, cards that collects points, use them. For example, what I got here is a Tesco Club card. Every time I spend, I get points, and therefore, points turns into coupons, and coupons turn into money saving. And I've also got my Nectar card. Take advantage of these cards. Apply for one. If you don't have one, they will not cost you a single cent. Instead, they will be saving you lots of money in a year and many years to come. Next point, please don't ever buy water. I know there are people out there who buy water and it costs money over time, especially when you have to drink so much of water a day. Stop buying water if you're one of those people who buy water. Invest in one of these filters and start saving money. My second last point is quantity doesn't always equal quality. Sometimes when people shop for food, they always want to buy large quantity because they think I'm getting value for my money. But it doesn't always equal quality. For example, if you were to buy wholemeal bread, it will cost more in comparison to white bread, but wholemeal bread will fill you up for a much longer period of time. Therefore, what you're getting out of it is not only lots of health benefits, but you will also consume less. In comparison to white bread, it will leave you hungry very quickly. Therefore, you end up consuming more, not good for your health, and it will only lead to weight gain and also more money being spent. So just remember that quantity doesn't always equal quality. See what kind of food fills you up even more and what kind of food is healthier for you. Last but not least, my last point. Everybody knows brown rice is much healthier for you, but it costs way more than your normal white rice. So as you can see, I don't just buy brown rice, I buy white rice as well. What you can do is, instead of only consuming white rice, I want to get the health benefit from my brown rice as well. So what I tend to do when I cook is to mix them up. This will help me to save money because I'm buying white rice, but I am also getting the benefits from my brown rice. Plus, this is also a good way to introduce brown rice into your diet because not many people like brown rice. So mix it up. If you can't afford this, but you can afford this, why not try to mix it up, and therefore you're getting the health benefits and you're also saving lots of money. So these are my personal tips to eat healthy and to live on a budget, because I am just like you, I am living on a budget myself, Therefore, you will notice that in my meal plans, I don't usually use organic food at all. Apply these tips, plan a little bit ahead in regards to the healthy food you need and match that with your budget. You will be able to live healthy, eat healthy, lose weight, look good and feel good. For new fitness, food and motivational videos, please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel and website. Do follow me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter to stay connected with me. Thanks guys!